Good morning, my dear students, and a warm welcome to the geography lecture. Today, we are going to start with the first lecture of geography of your 8th standard. So, let me first introduce myself. My name is Sir Sylvester D'Souza, and I'll be teaching you all geography for your entire 8th standard. Now, students, geography is a subject what you have studied already in your previous classes also. Okay, that means in your 7th standard, in your 6th standard, you have studied about geography. Now, I suppose most of you all must be knowing what is geography. But since it's my first lecture, I would like to first introduce the subject. That means what is the things or what are the various things that you are going to study in this subject that is called as geography. Okay. Now, first question that I want to ask all of you all is, what is geography? Okay, if you know the answers before I could give you the answer, you can mention it in the comment box below. Okay, if you don't know the answers, here it is. So geography, my dear students, is basically coming from two Greek words. So geography is basically a word of English, but this word is formed from a Greek word. Greek is the place, okay, Greek is a language that of the people of Greece speak, okay. So basically it comes from two different Greek words. So the first one is geo, which means earth, and graphy, which means to write. Okay, so basically geography comes from two Greek words, geo and graphy, meaning earth and to write. So when you try to combine these words, that is, the Greek defined geography as description of the earth, meaning describing about our planet earth or writing something about our planet earth, is basically called as geography. Okay, so this is basically a Greek word. Okay, now when you see what are the things that you are going to study in geography, or basically what is geography. Now, my dear students, in geography we can find there are two things. Okay, first of all, we can find the physical environment and we can find the human environment. Physical environment and human environment. Now, what do you mean by physical environment? Physical environment are those things that you can see in the nature. Okay, these are things which are present in the nature itself. Now, say for example, you have the mountains, you have the rivers, you have the seas, you have plains, you have plateaus, you have plenty of things that you can see in the nature. So these are all the physical things that you can see. Now, along with these physical things, you also can see human environment, meaning you can see man-made things. Now, just let me give you a simple example, okay, of a physical thing and of a human thing. Physical thing, let me give you an example. Now, we can take the example of two places. Say, for example, Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. Now, when you talk about Rajasthan, my dear students, it's a place which is very, very hot, extremely hot. And if you talk about the place Jammu and Kashmir, it's basically a cold place. Now, this is the physical environment. Now, let us see how human being tries to maintain or tries to get used to this physical environment. Now, the people who are staying in the Rajasthan area, what will they do? They will use ACs in their house. Why will they use an AC? Because they know that the climate, the weather of Rajasthan is hot, whereas the person staying in Jammu and Kashmir will use a sweater. And why will he use a sweater? The reason is because he knows that the climate, the weather in Jammu and Kashmir is cold. So we can see all the things in the nature. Okay, it's basically a correlation. It's basically an interrelation between two things, between the physical world and between the human world. Okay, wherever the physical world is harsh, the physical world is rough, the human being tries to get used to that. The human being, or we humans, try to get used to that. How will we get adapted to that kind of a situation? So that is basically called as a human environment. Okay, now this is your textbook, okay, of your 8th standard. If you have your textbooks, you can open it also, and we have already sent you the links every day. We are sending you the links of the textbook also. So this, my dear students, is the textbook of your 8th standard. Now, students, if you see, this is the next page, okay, wherein you can see that the world map is there. Okay, you can see this world map over here. Now in this world map, basically we can see the various continents. Okay, I'll just tell you, this is basically North America, this is basically South America, this is Africa, this part over here is Europe, This part over here is called as Asia. This is over here a small continent called as Australia, and one more continent which comes right in the below over here in the south, it is called as Antarctica. So we can see the continent, the world map on the next page of your textbook. Now this is what I wanted to show you, the table of contents, the basic table of contents. What are you going to study in your 8th standard? Things that you are going to learn in your 8th standard. Now students, just now I just told you that basically geography is what? A relationship between physical and between human environment. Now if you see, my dear students, you can observe the same things on your textbook table of contents. You can see this physical geography, the first part, and next 4 lessons are the human geography. Okay, so basically in your textbook also we can see how physical and human geography are going to be interrelated to each other, how population, land use and industry are human aspects, and ocean, the structure of the ocean floor, the currents, the humidity and the clouds, the interior of the earth, all these are physical geography. Okay, so basically we are going to study about all these things. Now after having got a short introduction and a very nice introduction, I suppose everybody are fully ready and completely ready to study your 8th standard geography. Let us start with your first lesson, that's local time and standard time, on page number 1 of your textbook. Now students, let us start first of all by what do you mean by local time and standard time. Local time, my dear students, is the time of the place that you are staying at present, and standard time is the time that the entire world follows to compare its own local time. Okay, if you have not understood it, don't worry, you will understand it in the further part of the lesson. Now first of all, you know what is time. Okay, we get up early in the morning, brush our teeth and take a bath, then we have breakfast and go to school. We study in our classroom, we return home, we go to the playground and play in the evening. We have dinner, we brush our teeth, go to sleep. We keep doing similar activities throughout the day. Considering our daily routine, we need to decide the time for all our activities. Now students, there are now if the schools would have begun, that is face-to-face school as you usually used to go earlier, okay, before this coronavirus situation, okay, you would see that early in the morning you get up, okay, you get up and you brush your teeth, you take a bath, you have your breakfast and you go to school. Now you have to follow a particular pattern. Say for example, you get up at 6 o'clock, okay, you brush your teeth, by 6:45 you get ready, and by 7 o'clock you have to go to school. You study in the classrooms till 12:30, 1 o'clock, you return home, have lunch, go to sleep, then you go in the evening to play on the ground, okay, you have dinner, brush your teeth, go to sleep. Now these all activities you are doing, is it possible that you can do these activities at a different time? It is possible. I won't say it is impossible, but it is not proper to do it. Say for example, is it possible that for example you have your school at 7 o'clock in the morning and you say that no, I want to play at 7 o'clock in the morning and I go to school at 5 o'clock in the evening? It's not possible because there are no schools for 5 o'clock in the evening. So in the same way, my dear students, whenever we are doing a particular thing, in the morning you get up and take a bath, okay, of course you can take a bath even before going to sleep at night, but in the morning you get up and take a bath, you feel fresh, okay. So these are various things that you are doing, okay, all throughout the day. Now in olden days also people used to do this. Today why are you doing? You look at the watch, look at your mobile, you can see the time, okay, now it's 5 o'clock, okay, let's go to play, okay, 7 o'clock in the evening, mommy has called me home, come on, enough of playing. Okay, so this is how you can see the time and you can notice it. But what about those people in the olden days, what they used to do? Okay, what they used to do, how they used to notice time, how they used to study about time. So basically what they used to do, my dear students, is they used to look at the sunrise and the sunset. For them, from sunrise to sunset was daytime, and once the sun sets to the next sunrise in the morning was nighttime. And their entire activity was based on the sun. So one thing is for sure over here, today we have become modernized. Today the medium for showing us time is our mobile or the watch on the wall, but in the olden times it was the sun. Today also, sun is the most important thing for noticing time. It's because of the sun that we have got various time of the day. We can divide it into daytime, nighttime, noon, evening, dawn, all these things we can call it, only because of the sun. The movement of the sun helps us to decide what time of the day it is. Will you call it as night time or will you call it as daytime? This is all right from the olden ages. And they had developed various tools also. Our ancestors were very smart, even though they were not engineers, but they were quite smart. Okay, now they had developed instrument like the ghatika patra. Now what is this ghatika patra? I'll tell you. It was basically a huge bowl used to be there, and on top of that there was a small bowl which was placed. Okay, bowl meaning, if you say in Hindi or Marathi, it's called as a vati. Okay, a small kind of a bowl was kept, and that small hole had a minute hole. Okay, the bowl had a minute hole. Okay, वाटी को एक छोटा सा एक hole था. Okay, now what used to happen? They used to keep that on a big vessel which was filled with water. Now slowly the water used to start entering in that bowl because of the hole which was there. Now the time taken for that entire bowl to fill, they used to give it as minutes or hours or seconds, whatever they had it. Okay, in the same way, I suppose you might have heard about sand timer. You know what is sand timer? No, a kind of an instrument which was there, which sand used to be inside. Okay, and the sand used to fall from one place to the place down, and they used to understand what time of the day it is. Okay, they used to understand what time of the day it is. So all these were used. Now we all of us know that it takes 24 hours for one earth for one rotation to complete of our earth. Now we have got 12 hours plus again 12 hours, so which makes it 24 hours. So out of these 24 hours, that means the earth takes entire one day or 24 hours to complete one rotation. We consider the direction where the sun rises to be east. Now all of you all studied right from the childhood. The sun rises from the east and sets in the west. So we all of us know sun rises in the east. Okay, therefore we can say that it rotates from west to east. Okay, it's going from the west to the east. Okay, as a result we experience sunrise in the morning, we have got noon, we have got sunset, and we have got midnight. So these are all the various times that we experience. Okay, now during rotation, the longitudes in the western part of the sun gradually, while those in the east face darkness. Okay, so we know that one side will face light and the other side will face darkness. Okay, why? Because those facing towards the sun will of course be in light, and those coming at the opposite will be experiencing darkness. Okay, now when we can see, okay, when we are traveling, you have traveled plenty of times either by bus, by rickshaw or by trains. Okay, when you travel, you have noticed one of the things, we see that the trees etc are moving in the opposite direction. Okay, they appear to be moving in the opposite direction, but exactly, is it the trees which is moving, or is it that buildings which are moving, or is it we who are moving? So according to us, it is we who are moving. Okay, it is not the trees, not the people, not the poles, not the buildings that are moving, but actually it is we who are moving in the vehicle. In the same way, my dear students, whenever we see that the sun is moving or sun is moving from the east to the west, it is not the sun which is moving from the east to the west. It is basically we who are moving. The earth is rotating, the earth is revolving. Okay, so everybody understand that it is not the sun which is moving, it is we who are rotating and revolving. So these are the various things that we are going to study. Now I showed you this, that is getting up early in the morning, brushing teeth, taking bath, having breakfast, going to school. Then again after that we study in the classroom, we go back home, play in the park, have dinner, brush teeth and go to sleep. These are all the activities that we undertake. Now we can see a sunrise in the morning, noon when the sun is right on our head on top, okay, in the afternoon. Then we have got the sunset in the evenings, okay, and night, what you can see when we can see the moon and the stars. Okay, so the example of the bus that I told you, a moving bus. Now students, you have got a small activity on the same page of your textbook. Okay, you can see that you have to place a pole, okay, in an open ground, and you have to notice the various shadows. Now you can see that in the morning when the sun rises in the east, the shadow comes in the opposite side. Okay, sun is over here, the shadow will come this side at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then as it goes up, we can see at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again it comes up, we can see in the noon. It comes this side, we can see afternoon at about 2 o'clock. And again it comes in the west, that time it is in the evening, 4 o'clock. So sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Now there's a question. Where is the sun located when the shadow is the shortest? So we can see the shortest shadow over here is right beneath the pole. And it's the noon time. It's right located above at the earth. Okay, straight up it is located. It's the noon time at 12 o'clock. And at what time is the shadow longest? We can see at 2 times of the day. In the morning when the sun is in the east, we can see 8 o'clock in the morning, and when the sun is in the west in the evening, we can see at 4 o'clock. Okay, so these are the various activities what are there. Okay, now students, this is a very small part I have taken because today is your first lecture. Okay, I don't want to confuse you a lot. Okay, if required I could have taken more, but I don't want to confuse you a lot. So therefore students, this is all for today's lecture. Okay, now I am just giving you a small activity. Just get some extra information about 2 things. That is, the first thing what you can see over here is about the sand timer. Okay, about the sand timer, what you can see over here. Okay, what is the meaning of a sand timer? Go to the Google and search it, download a sand timer. Okay, and next, what do you mean by this Ghatika Patra? Okay, both these things, get some extra information, learn something more. Okay, so that is the thing that I want you all to do for today's lecture. Okay, so students, I am done with today's lecture. Okay, I'll continue with my next lecture in the next week. So students, stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself and